Hello and welcome to Unity of Las Vegas. This is our Sunday experience, and what we're doing this week is really part two. And the title of this series is Jumanji, the Game of Life. What we're doing is taking a look at this thing called life, and we're looking at it through the lens of this movie called Jumanji. You know, it's like a metaphor, and that is, it has some similarities for life itself. Sometimes when I step into a movie theater and I get involved in a movie theater, it takes me out of my current condition, and it allows me to look at life from a different point of view. Well, that's what's happening in this particular series. Some people take a look at life and they say, oh my God, look at this. And then some people will say, oh my God, look at this. Well, this point of view is, oh my God, what a fantastic time to be alive. So this is what we're about, and so glad that you're here. This talk today is designed for you to be it and experience it. We'll have a little song dealing with changing our minds so we can get ready for it. I'll have a little talk that will point us in a particular direction. And then after that, Lisa will bring it on home with a wonderful meditation that's designed for us to anchor it in our body so that we can experience it. This game of life is to be lived and experienced, not just to think about. So take a deep breath, get ready for thrills, chills, and high adventure. Jumanji, the game of life, and how to play it.
How did this happen? Coffee spilled and it's all over, plus you're stuck in traffic. What did you do to deserve this? There's a lot going on, but it's all happening wrong. You're trying to reframe, but frustration stays the same. There's no silver lining, or it's not worth finding. It's an awful day, nothing's going your way. You should just go back to bed. Try tomorrow, or instead you could change your mind, reset those intentions. Oh, and did I mention you could change your mind? If it's a bad day, you can move those clouds away. If I told you, you could turn that frown upside down. It's like a superpower. You control the outcome, depending where you're coming from. It's easy to get stuck when it feels like life sucks, but that's not the truth. I know you know it too. If you're feeling blue, then there's nothing left to do. Stop and erase. It's the time and place to change your mind, reset those intentions. Oh, and did I mention you could change your mind? If it's a bad day, you can move those clouds away. Just move those clouds away. Move those clouds away.
Thank you, Abigail Comp, for Change Your Mind. And so now, as we get ready to get into the talk, let's just take a moment. I want to center us, but also center myself. So just take a deep breath. and just relax for a moment. And just relax. Just relax. Let's pray. Infinite Spirit, we are ready to change our mind, change our way of thinking in such a way that we're aligned with the truth of who you are, that really is the truth of who we are. So now, as we do, we're just shedding the illusions of falsehood and negativity so we can be swimming in the stream of abundance and prosperity and life itself. We're asking, as we go through this, something interesting. We really don't want our will to be done. We want to play this game of life so that your will is being done. That's our prayer. And we thank you in advance because we know abundance, miracles, and everything good is now happening to and for us. And so it is. Amen. And so as we begin this part 2, I want to start off with a little bit from Greek mythology, and that is the myth of Sisyphus. I think I'm pronouncing the guy's name right. And it really is an image that you're familiar with. And it is this guy, he's pushing this big boulder up the mountain, and then it rolls back down. And then he starts and he does it over and over again just to come back down. And it seems really futile, and why is he doing this? And there's a philosopher, a French philosopher by the name of Albert Camus, and he has this quote, and he says, Sisyphus represents the absurdity of man's life that is inherently devoid of meaning and consequently absurd. But humans will nevertheless forever search for meaning. So what he's saying is there some meaning to this thing called life? And is it just like pushing a boulder up a hill and it just come crashing down? Doesn't it seem like life is that way? So sometimes we may say, what's it all about, Alfie? Why are we doing this? Does life really have meaning? Well, I assert that it does. And the reason why I do is because I've been there that says life doesn't have any meaning at all. I was an agnostic for over 7 years, and I doubted the existence of God and said, this is just a meaningless life. And I really had a bumper sticker that says, stuff happens. Well, it didn't really say stuff happens. It says something else happens. And I'm just proud of that because that's how life occurred for me. But now I want to look at it from another point of view. Life has meaning, and we give it the meaning. We get an opportunity to say what this is. So this game of life that we are dealing with and going through is just like in Jumanji, where these 4 teenagers just flopped into this video game, and they had these bodies, and they were like avatar bodies, and these bodies that they had remind me of the Enneagram, and that it has certain characteristics, and it's like designed for who we have come here to be. Now, what do we do with these bodies, and how do we play this game of life is the real thing that we're up to today. And as we breathe into this, the first thing that I want us to do is to relax and know we've got this. We can do this because it's set up, designed for us to win. The only thing is we've got to take a look at where we're coming from and how we're willing to look and interpret life. So as we go through this now, I want us to take a look at this life that we're currently living. It looks like, feels like this is a game that's dealing with opposites, that there is this polarity, that everything is like good, bad, right, wrong, and it looks like the opposites are mutually exclusive. And if you don't understand, just look at our political system today and what's going on, and let me tell you, we've got opposites that are not working together. Now that's how life looks like, coming from a particular point of view that is no longer available. There's a new game in town. There's been a new leveling, a upgrade of this game, and this game is not good, bad, right, wrong, and all of the polar opposites. This game is oneness, wholeness, and unity. And in order to play this game, which is the real game, by the way, and not play the other game, which is a game of illusion, by the way, to play this one game that is full of love and abundance and creativity and innovation and alignment with the beauty of and the wonder of who we are, versus the other, which is pain and suffering and strife and agony and all of that, I'm inviting us to play another game that's in harmony with the real life. And this is a game of wholeness. In order to play this game, it takes one primary instrument. I call it the secret sauce. It is we used to call it in corporate America, it was called the silver bullet, and that was the one thing that could make a difference. This opens the portal so we can see the real game that's being played, and it is called Unconditional Love. And this love that we're using now for this game of life, oh, it needs to permeate any and everything. Meaning this, we bring this new attitude, this new way of seeing and being to ourselves, to our conditions, and to everything that's going on. And so now, once we do that, something happens. And Charles Fillmore, the co-founder of Unity, had this statement. He said, "I fairly sizzle with zeal and enthusiasm and leap forward to do the things that ought to be done by me." What do I mean by all of that is what we're going to do now is we're going to fairly sizzle with zeal and enthusiasm to engage in this life. In order to do that is love, is the way that we do this. And what I'm looking at now, and I'm calling this, is sizzle while it drizzles. What do I mean by this? You know what I mean? Life has a lot of drizzle to it. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring the sizzle to it, and this opens up something else. So what I'm saying, in the face of adversity, which it feels like drizzle, we're going to bring sizzle, and that is we're going to open up our heart to love. There's something happens when we open up our heart and we start loving who we are and loving everything around us. We open up. It is a game that we're playing, and it is giving and receiving. The more we give love, something happens. We open up because there's something that can come in and we can receive it because we're not blocking it off. Once we close off the love and we're not giving love, there's nothing that can come in. So love opens up a new way, and we're going to sizzle while it's drizzling. Sizzle so we can drizzle, and drizzle while we're sizzling. What do I mean by this? Look, something goes on, bad, wrong, you don't like it. We're going to bring sizzle to it. We're going to co-create. We're going to bring something magnificent to the table. The co-creation happens when life occurs and we bring love to it. That's where the magic happens. That's where everything pops. That's where we can sizzle. This game of life is a co-creative process, so that if we get a diagnosis that is unfavorable, we take a look at that drizzle and we bring sizzle to it. There's something about love that once we give love in and for, period, for no particular reason other than give it, there's something that opens up and can come back to it. What I'm talking about is in this thing called life, it looks weird, and we may have what I would call a virus that comes in that looks like it's destroying everything. While that drizzle of the virus comes in, we can sizzle, and that is we can engage it in a new way, and then at that moment it becomes a wonderful creative process. And once we do this, it has a portal that opens up as we open up our hearts to love. Something comes in and it's called intuition. And this intuition guides us in this game of life so that we can start to create something wonderful, because what is coming to us is actually for us. And in this game of life, it is not being aggressive and resisting and fighting. This game of life is all about surrendering to the infinite process of love, so that then we can be co-creative in the moment to bring forth exactly what needs to be done. Now I know, seems far-fetched, seems kind of out there, and it seems like, I don't know if I can really do this. Thing of it is, it's easy. Matter of fact, it's a lot easier than struggling, than fighting against what is. I want to let you know something. If you fight what is, you're going to lose every single time. So the goal now is to bring in what is, but the beauty is the co-creative moment of bringing love to it and see what can manifest from it. So our job now is to take a moment during the course of every day and just breathe. Relax and just breathe in the essence of the universe. Breathe in love. Breathe in life. And then start to engage in this game of life with a new attitude. I think it was Patti LaBelle that had a song out years ago, said, ooh, 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 I got a new attitude. So I'm inviting us now to step forward in this game of life with a new attitude. We're going to bring love to every part of this game of life and see what happens. Now, as we do, there's a couple of steps that I want us to take a look at. One is, there isn't any particular way to do this. There isn't a particular blueprint. There isn't a particular master plan other than bringing your loving essence to this thing called life. And what some people will say, but you know what? I just want to do what I want to do. We can continue to do that, but it sets us up to another trajectory that is full of potholes and what I would call challenging times, which is okay. It's not a bad route. It's just a long route in which we're going to learn some more things. Or we can say, you know what? I'm just going to love everything and just say, hey, Infinite Spirit, let thy will be done. And what happens is we will win in this game of life. So, because no matter what happens, love wins. So all we have to do is bring love to the table. And as we do, we're now engaged in this thing called a game of life. We're going to play it to win it, because that's our destiny. That's what we came here for. That's who we are. Now, to anchor us in all of this, I am so pleased to bring in Lisa. She will now share some few words, but then create it so it's anchored in our bodies. This is who we are. We're the avatars of life.
Back in the 80s, I attended several workshops given by a very spiritual lawyer by the name of Arnold Patton. And he's the author of a wonderful book called You Can Have It All. And in these workshops, he very often encouraged us to play the real game, which to me was very curious at the time, because I was wondering, well, what is the real game and how is that different from what we do normally? So as I began to look out in culture, I could see there was actually this default game in play. And it looked like most of us were deciding basically to seek pleasure and avoid pain. And also really trying to be happy, trying to create things in such a way that we could really be happy and fulfilled. And all of this was really based on manipulating the realm of form, making it so that what is outpictured out there in our life, in our relationships or in our circumstances, really was geared to make us happy. So we even have a sophisticated form of this in spiritual world called the law of attraction, where we deliberately manipulate or try to manipulate circumstances so that things are going our way. So in one sense, we could call that a form of spiritual materialism. And so there's a basic question that we ask ourselves in trying to do that, which is, well, how's that working for you? And in the age of information, surprisingly enough, there is very little data available in terms of how does that really work? And is it really effective to live life in that way? Are we happier? Are we manifesting what we want? And we're seeing also that there's actually a very small percentage of us that are asking that question. We call those dangerous questions, questions that could open up a Pandora's box of some kind. There are very few of us that have this courage to reflect on the fact that there must be something more. We're looking out and realizing that we actually cannot control outcomes 100% of the time. There's always this element of the unknown that continues to seep in. And we're recognizing also that the happiness that we're expecting to get back is really lacking. It's not really what we thought it could be. And there's a sense of unfulfillment, or maybe that there could be something more. And so there's this beautiful Bible verse that says, "But seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be provided for you." So in non-religious terms, we can say that seeing the world through the eyes of love, seeing the highest and best possibility for each other and in every circumstances, seeing wholeness and connectivity where it would normally look like brokenness and separation. Being a stand for love as an end game in and of itself, and responding to this larger calling beyond the self, carries the promise that the outer circumstances and all their varying forms and changes creates greater meaning, greater personal satisfaction than actually directly manipulating. So this is what is referred to as the real game. And the promise is, if you play this real game, you can really have it all. The best part of the whole thing is that you already have everything that it takes inside of you to do this. We are created in the image and likeness of the divine. We are pure love. And all that we need to do is turn towards this truth and come from this truth in how we interact with our world. So let's now take this into meditation. And begin with the breath. It's always a beautiful place to begin, and just allow yourself to become very comfortable in your chairs and breathe in and out. And see how that begins already to regulate and to center all parts of your being, your physical body, with your mind, with your emotions. Just imagine this breath moving through your entire being, just feeling your entire being itself as a respiratory organ. And imagine that you are actually breathing in a beautiful pink light. Imagine that this pink light is totally surrounding you, and you are having this exchange of air with this pink light. You are breathing this in. And notice that as you are breathing this in, that you are filled with love. That everything that is no longer serving you, you are beginning to release. And anything that needs to be generated and created new is being created anew. So just allow this process to happen as you are breathing in this beautiful love, this beautiful pink light, allowing it to go to every part of your being. There is nothing that exists as you that is not filled with this pink light of love. This is the nature of who you are. You are love, and you are only love. And experience this love filling your eyes, your ears, all of your perceptual organs are this love. You can only perceive love, see love, and give love. So continue breathing in and exchanging this wonderful breath in and out. Breathing in this healing, generating pink light of love, and breathing out your unique blessing to the entire universe. Breathing in and breathing out. And notice as you're doing that, bring the beautiful world into your imagination. And see this world through the eyes of this love. Breathing in and breathing out. And feel that you are renewing this world with this vision, with this love that you are. Alphonse de Lamartine has a beautiful quote that says, "To love for the sake of being loved is human, but to love for the sake of loving is angelic." In breathing this beautiful love, we are angels of light, angels of love, healing the world with every breath. This is the way it really is.
Thank you, Lisa, for the great meditation. And so we're taking a look at sizzling while it is drizzling. And I know we got a lot of drizzle going on, but we, in this game of life, are designed to win. And so as we conclude this service, I just thank you all for sharing your wonderful time with us. Next week, we're going to do part 3, and we're taking this energy that we have now, and we're taking it to another level next week. We're going to learn how to combine it with other energies so that we can collectively go forward. The key to this, where 2 or more gathered, there am I in the midst, and we are now ready to go forward in the midst. So if this talk touched, moved, and inspired you in any kind of way, first of all, I'm just saying, oh goody, thanks for that. Then share it with a friend or someone that you think may need it. And we'd love for you to contribute. Now, there's multiple ways that you can contribute to this ministry so that we are able to be here for you You can do it via phone. You can check out a website. You can mail it in. And we are just open and receptive to be of service for you. And also, I just want you to know that you can email or call the office if you may be in need of special counseling or just want to get a fine tuning, or if you want to put a little sizzle in your drizzle, I'm here for you. And so as we move into this wonderful space, whatever you're giving and doing, I just want to conclude this service with the prayer for protection. Now, I want us to say it for ourselves, but also say it for our friends, neighbors, also for this planet. Take a full deep breath. And if you don't mind, say it with me as the words are on the screen, and that is, the light of God surrounds us. We are the life of God. The love of God enfolds us. We are the love of God. The power of God protects us. We are the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. And wherever we are, wherever we go, just know that God is there. And all is well. Let's play this game of life and let's sizzle while it's drizzle. God bless you.
I am happy.